Can't you see how big you've become? You walk around like one heavy trailer. Honestly, Tenny, even I feel embarrassed standing next to you.
What will
Who would
happen
cast
to
you in
me
anything
now?
now? I'm
After
a
all
star
the
now.
weight gained for
Big
this
producers
movie?
want me. You're just there. Welcome to Tales Vibe, our moonlight fireside of African stories. Hit subscribe to keep the fire burning as we grow to 500 flames of wisdom. And drop a comment telling us where you're watching from. We love knowing where our story family is tuning in from. Tenny stood beside Sam at the award ceremony in Abuja, smiling as cameras flashed. She believed this night meant something special. After all the years she spent pushing Sam's career, tonight felt like her reward too. But Sam didn't look at her once. His attention was on Beezy, Tenny's best friend, who kept touching his arm like they were the couple being celebrated. When they returned to Sam's hotel suite, Tenny tried to start a conversation, but Sam suddenly burst into laughter with Beezy. "Tenny, look at yourself," he said sharply. "Can't you see how big you've become? You walk around like one heavy trailer." Beezy joined him. "Honestly, Tenny, even I feel embarrassed standing next to you. Who would cast you in anything now?" Tenny's smile slowly fell. "Sam, what are you saying? After everything." He cut her off. "Everything what? You think you're still useful? I'm a star now. Big producers want me. You're just there." Mama Sam came out from the bedroom, tying her scarf. "Ah, you people should stop wasting time. Give her the papers." She dropped a brown envelope in front of Tenny. "My dear, sign this divorce thing and stop disturbing our life." Tenny stepped back, trembling. "Mama, what did I do to deserve this?" "You did nothing," Mama Sam replied coldly. "That's the point. You're doing nothing. You helped pay his old debt, yes. But that doesn't mean you should become baggage in his career." Tenny's eyes widened. "Baggage? I sacrificed everything for Sam. I stood with him when nobody believed in him. And we've repaid you," Sam snapped. "We married you. For 5 years you've been eating free food and adding weight." Beezy folded her arms. "Look, Tenny, don't make this dramatic. Just sign and let everybody rest." Tenny held the envelope, her hands shaking. "Are you both serious? Beezy, you too?" Beezy smirked. "My dear, don't act surprised." The room suddenly felt smaller. Tenny couldn't breathe. They had planned everything. They wanted her out. As she backed away, Sam stepped closer. "Listen, we will settle this nicely. You will sign. And tomorrow, we will talk about how you will quietly leave Abuja." Tenny stared at him, tears rolling down her cheeks. "Sam, is this really what you want?" "It's what we all want," Mama Sam replied, lifting her bag. "And we will make sure you understand it." Tenny turned slowly toward the door, her heart breaking. But she didn't know things were about to get far worse. She didn't know they had one more plan waiting. The next morning, Sam acted unusually gentle. He knocked on the spare room door where Tenny had cried herself to sleep. "Tenny, let's talk," he said softly. "Let's drive out. Clear our heads." Tenny hesitated, but something in her still hoped Sam would reconsider. She followed him downstairs where Mama Sam and Beezy were already in the car. No one spoke during the long drive out of Abuja, past familiar roads and into quiet outskirts. When Sam finally stopped the car near a rocky area, Tenny frowned. "Why here?" "To talk without disturbance," Beezy replied. Sam stepped out and motioned to her. "Come." As Tenny walked toward him, Beezy and Mama Sam remained by the car, whispering. The wind carried their voices just enough for Tenny to hear her name, followed by small bursts of laughter. Sam turned to her. "Tenny, stop dragging this issue. Just sign the divorce and let everybody move on." Tenny swallowed hard. "Sam, we can fix things. Don't do this." He scoffed. "Fix what? You think I didn't know you were getting in the way of my career? Producers don't want to deal with your drama and wait." She gasped. "I fought for your career." "That was then," he snapped. "Now you're a problem." Beezy walked closer. "Tell her the rest, Sam." Tenny looked between them. "What rest?" Sam crossed his arms. "Those rumors about you sleeping with producers. We started them. We needed to push you out of Nollywood." Tenny staggered back. "You did that?" Mama Sam shook her head dramatically. "This girl is so slow." "Yes, we did. Since you refused to step aside, we had to help you." Tenny's breath shook as she whispered, "Why?" Beezy smiled coldly. "Because Sam deserves someone who matches him, not you." Something inside Tenny snapped. "You people are evil." She turned to leave, but Sam grabbed her arm. "You're not going anywhere." The argument escalated. Tenny tried to pull away. Mama Sam shouted. Beezy yelled. Sam pushed. Tenny's foot slipped. And then, she went over the edge. Her scream echoed once before silence swallowed everything. Sam, Beezy and Mama Sam rushed to the cliff and peered down. "She's gone," Beezy whispered. "Good," Mama Sam said quickly. "Let's leave now before someone comes." Sam exhaled shakily, but his voice held no regret. "No one will find her here." They rushed back into the car and sped off, leaving the dust to settle over the place where Tenny had fallen. Darkness wrapped around Tenny as she drifted in and out of consciousness. She didn't know how long she lay there. Hours? A full day? What she knew was pain, deep and burning, but also a strange, stubborn spark inside her that refused to let go. Just before sunset, the sound of tires rolled in the distance. A convoy of dark SUVs slowly approached the area. They weren't there for her. They were responding to a different call. But one of the security officers noticed a faint movement near the rocks. "Madam, someone is down here," he shouted. Tenny was lifted out carefully, rushed into one of the SUVs, and driven straight to a private hospital in Abuja. The officers contacted their employer, Madam Ada, a respected Nollywood icon known nationwide. When Madam Ada arrived, doctors were already battling to stabilize Tenny. She stood at the glass window, watching them work. Something about Tenny's face tugged at her chest. "She looks familiar," Madam Ada murmured. Hours later, the doctor approached her. "She is stable for now, Ma. But she has been through something terrible." "Who is she?" Madam Ada asked softly. "We found no ID. But we collected fingerprints." A day later, results came back. The doctor called Madam Ada into the office. "Ma, we found something unexpected." Madam Ada braced herself. Her fingerprints match an old missing child report filed 20 years ago. Madam Ada's heart pounded. "Show me." They handed her an old file, her own file. The name, Temitope Ada, missing at age 3. A child she had searched for across Nigeria, hoping but never finding. Madam Ada rushed to Tenny's bedside. Even with bruises, she could see it. The resemblance. The jawline. The eyebrows. The small birthmark near the ear. She sat beside Tenny and held her hand. "My child, you came back to me," she whispered. When Tenny finally woke up, she saw an unfamiliar woman with tears in her eyes. "Where am I?" she asked weakly. "You're safe," Madam Ada said. I'm your mother." Tenny blinked in confusion. "My mother? No, my mother died long ago." Madam Ada shook her head gently. "The woman who raised you was not your birth mother. You were taken. I have looked for you for 20 years. Tenny stared at her, shocked. The truth landed slowly but heavily. And then she burst into tears. Madam Ada hugged her tightly. "From now on, nobody will ever hurt you again." Tenny had no idea how much power now stood behind her. And that power was only beginning to rise. Recovery was slow, but each day Tenny grew stronger. Madam Ada stayed close, checking on her, bringing meals, and updating her on the world outside. By the 3rd week, Tenny could walk again, though carefully. One morning, Madam Ada entered her room with a warm smile. "My daughter, it's time to go home." "Home?" Tenny echoed. "Yes, your real home." They drove through the heart of Abuja until they entered an estate Tenny had only seen in magazines. Guards saluted as the gates opened. Inside stood a beautiful mansion, large but welcoming. "This is yours," Madam Ada said. Tenny swallowed hard as they walked inside. Staff members lined up, bowing slightly. "Welcome, madam," they said. Madam Ada squeezed her hand. "From today, your life begins again." Tenny spent the next few days learning about her real mother's empire. Dome Entertainment wasn't just another company. It was one of the biggest entertainment brands in Nigeria. And now, by blood and by law, Tenny was part of it. During a board meeting, Madam Ada stood confidently. "Ladies and gentlemen, I present my daughter, Tenny Ada. She is now majority shareholder and will be involved in all major decisions." The room erupted with surprise and applause. Tenny breathed in deeply. Just weeks ago, Sam had told her she was useless. Now she sat in a room full of people who respected her before she even spoke. After the meeting, Madam Ada led her to a private office on the top floor. "This will be yours." Tenny touched the desk gently. "I don't know what to say." "Say nothing yet," Madam Ada replied. "Use this place to rebuild yourself. And when you are ready, we will talk about what to do concerning those who hurt you." Tenny's eyes darkened slightly. "I remember everything they said. Everything they did." Madam Ada nodded. "Good. But your revenge will not be rushed. It must be clean." Tenny looked out the large window, Abuja stretching proudly before her. "I'm ready to start again." "And you will," Madame Ada said. In fact, there is a new production coming soon. A big one. It may be the perfect place for you to step into the industry again, this time from the top. Tenny turned. Who is involved? Madame Ada smiled slowly. You will see. And with that, the first seed of her comeback was planted. A few days later, a major announcement shook the industry. Dome Entertainment was launching a 500 million Nigerian Nairas movie project. And the auditions were about to begin. The audition hall buzzed with excitement as actors filled the waiting area. Abuja's entertainment scene had been noisy for days about Dome Entertainment's massive 500 million Nigerian Nairas project. Everyone wanted a chance. Sam and Beezy arrived together, wearing matching fake confidence. Beezy whispered, "This new boss, Miss Ada, whoever she is, will like us. You'll see." Sam chuckled. "As long as she's not like that useless Tenny, we're fine." Beezy laughed loudly. "I beg forget Tenny. She dawn't disappear." They didn't know how wrong they were. Inside the hall, cameras were set, producers waited, and a red seat was placed specially for the executive who would make the final casting decisions. Then the doors opened. Tenny walked in. Slim, elegant, confident. Not the woman they pushed off a cliff. Not the woman they mocked. This was someone new, yet painfully familiar. Sam's jaw dropped. Beezy stared like she had seen a ghost. Tenny simply smiled and took her seat. "Good morning, everyone. Let's begin." Her voice was calm, controlled. Nobody in the room sensed the storm underneath. Sam swallowed hard. "Tenny," he whispered. Beezy elbowed him sharply. "Call her Miss Ada." Tenny didn't even look at them. She focused on the script in her hand. The director stepped forward. "Miss Ada, these two are here for the lead roles." Tenny finally looked up at Sam and Beezy. Her smile was soft but sharp. "Lead roles? Let's test something first." Sam tried to regain himself. "We can." Tenny raised a hand. "Sam, please act scene 4. The one where the husband insults his wife." Sam froze. He remembered that exact scene. It was almost word for word what he once told Tenny. The director handed him the script. Sam forced himself to act. His voice trembled slightly, but he pushed through the lines. "You are a burden, heavy like a tank. No man can carry this kind of stress." Tenny watched him without blinking. She did not flinch, did not look away. When he finished, she clapped slowly. "Nice. Very realistic." Sam nearly collapsed. Then she turned to Beezy. "And you read the part where the best friend mocks the wife's weight." Beezy's hands shook as she read. Tenny nodded. "Good. Very good." The director smiled. "So they will be our leads?" Tenny leaned back in her chair. "No. They'll play the second leads. The villains." Sam and Beezy gasped. Tenny stood, gathering her files. "This time, you will act the roles that fit you best." And as she walked out, they felt it. This was only the beginning. The room was still buzzing from the surprise of Tenny's casting choices when she rose from her seat and signaled for Beezy to stay behind. Sam, thinking Tenny wanted a private chat with him, lingered too, until she smiled politely and said, "Sam, I'll speak with you later. Please step outside for now." The gentle firmness in her tone made him obey immediately. Once the door closed, Beezy folded her arms and leaned on the table, trying to hide her nervousness. "Miss Ada, I hope everything is fine." Tenny studied her quietly for a few seconds. She remembered how Beezy once stood beside Sam in a hotel room, laughing at her weight without mercy. But today, Beezy could not guess what was coming. "For your role," Tenny finally began, sliding a part of the script toward her, "you'll be playing the main character's earlier life. That version of the character is very big in size. You'll need to gain weight for it." Beezy's eyes widened. "Gain weight? As in real weight? Can't we use costume or padding?" "No," Tenny replied calmly. "This project is serious. We want raw emotion and physical truth. You said you wanted a role that will change your career. This is the one." Beezy swallowed. She had never imagined that the price of her big break would be extra kilos. "Miss Ada, it won't be easy, but if this role is really the one you believe in, then I'll do it." Tenny nodded slowly. "Good. Commit fully. I'll support you." Her words were soft, but inside, she felt a quiet fire. This was just the beginning. Just then, Sam re-entered, confident and smiling. "Miss Ada, you wanted to see me?" Tenny kept a straight face. "Yes, Sam. I liked your audition today. Your commitment was clear." Sam's chest rose a bit, pride swelling. "Thank you. Anything you need from me, I'm ready." Tenny stepped closer and gently adjusted his collar. the same way he once mocked her appearance. Sam froze, convinced the gesture meant something deeper. Mama Sam's voice echoed in his head. You can marry into money. We'll talk more soon, Tenny said softly. For now, prepare for your role. As the two of them left the room, Tenny could feel their confusion and excitement mixing like smoke behind her. None of them recognized the woman they once despised. None of them even suspected that the story unfolding was hers. When she reached the lobby of Dome Entertainment, Tenny brought out her phone and dialed one number, the one belonging to Madame Ada. Mama, she said quietly, everything is moving exactly as planned. And with that, she walked out of the building, ready for the next phase. Sam left Dome Studios that afternoon feeling like a king. Tenny's soft smile, the way she adjusted his tie, and her quiet, "We'll talk later," kept replaying in his mind. He didn't know she planned every step. He didn't know she already had the trap set. The next morning, his phone buzzed nonstop. Messages, missed calls, and angry voice notes poured in. He looked at the screen, confused. Sam, what's this nonsense online? See your scandal. Your brand deals are pulling out. Mama Sam barged into his room. Sam, what have you done? These blogs have finished you, she shouted, shaking a phone in his face. Sam grabbed it. His eyes widened. On every blog headline, every Twitter space, every WhatsApp status, the same story was spreading like wildfire. Actor Sam caught in hotel drama with married executive. Leaked clips show Sam begging for major role. Embarrassing scene at luxury hotel in Abuja. There were photos too, photos of Sam entering the hotel, loosening his shirt, holding flowers, and even smiling at the mirror in the hallway. Tenny had planted everything perfectly. Ah, who snapped me like this? Sam cried. You tell me. Mama Sam shouted. Sponsors are calling me. Production houses are calling me. They've paused all your projects. Sam swallowed hard. The 500 million Nigerian Naira's Dome movie project had already been suspended 2 days before. Now no one wanted to touch him. Meanwhile, Beezy was going through her own personal storm. She had already gained weight for the role, and her clothes barely fit. When she saw the scandal, she screamed so loudly the neighbors heard. So after everything, after this weight gain, this is what I get, she said, pacing the room. Sam has ruined me. This movie was my last hope. She tried calling Sam. He refused to pick. Mama Sam finally answered and hissed. My dear, face your front. We are fighting for our lives here. Beezy threw her phone on the floor. Tears rolled down her face. She hadn't acted in months. Directors avoided her now. She felt trapped. On the other side of Abuja, Tenny watched everything quietly from her office at Dome Entertainment. Madame Ada stood behind her. Tenny, she said softly, you are moving with precision. Tenny nodded. They've only tasted the beginning. They still don't know who they're dealing with. Just then, her office door opened. Keen, her childhood friend and now CEO of a major firm, walked in. Tenny, he said, holding a file. I found something you need to see. It's about the night you were pushed off that cliff. Tenny sat up straight. Show me, she said. And with that, her next move began. The news of Sam's scandal continued to spread across Abuja like fire on dry grass. Brands were dropping him, movie directors stopped taking his calls, and fans he once boasted about were dragging him online. Dome Entertainment's suspension of the 500 million Nigerian Naira's film only made everything worse. Tenny watched the chaos quietly from her office, her fingers tapping the table slowly. The plan was unfolding smoothly. Now it was time for the next step, Beezy. Beezy had been avoiding public places. The weight she gained for the role was now embarrassing her, and the shame from the scandal made it worse. When Tenny called to check on her, she agreed to meet out of desperation. They sat together in a private lounge in Abuja. Beezy's eyes were swollen, her voice shaky. Tenny, I don't even know who I am again, she whispered. You're stressed, Tenny replied gently. Let's go for a medical checkup. No cameras, no noise. Just you. Beezy nodded weakly. At the private hospital, after routine tests, the doctor stepped out and returned with a quiet expression. Miss Beezy, congratulations. You're pregnant. Beezy froze, staring at the ceiling. Pregnant? For Sam. Her voice cracked. Tenny placed a warm hand on her shoulder. You're not alone. Let's tell him. Later that evening, Tenny drove Beezy to Sam's small house. Mama Sam opened the door, her face changing the moment she saw Beezy. What are you doing here? Mama Sam sneered. I'm pregnant, Beezy said softly. Sam's child. Sam, who had been pacing restlessly, stopped. Pregnant what? For who? Please don't come here with lies. Sam, Tenny said calmly, don't be childish. You know the truth. Mama Sam hissed. Even if she's pregnant, who knows how many men she has been with? She wants to trap my son. The insults fired like bullets. Beezy trembled. Tenny watched the scene and slowly walked toward a cushion she had earlier placed on the chair when they arrived. Beezy, sit, she said softly. Beezy obeyed, but the moment she lowered herself, she screamed sharply. A gush of blood stained the cushion. Mama Sam jumped back. Sam gasped. Beezy collapsed to the floor in tears. Help me, she cried. Tenny rushed forward dramatically. You hit her. You pushed her too hard with your words, she shouted at Sam. Get the car. Now. At the hospital, the doctor delivered the blow. The baby is gone. And due to your body condition, getting pregnant again may be difficult. Beezy wailed uncontrollably. Tenny stepped closer, her voice calm and cold. Now you know, she whispered, what it feels like to lose something you never expected to lose. Beezy looked up at her, confused. Tenny turned away with a quiet smile. Her revenge had only just begun. Beezy did not sleep that night. After losing the baby, the doctor's warning kept ringing in her mind. It may be hard for you to conceive again. She sat on her small bed, staring at the ceiling, clutching the only thing she felt could save her future, the recording. The same recording Tenny had secretly handed to her at the hospital. Sam's voice played in her ear. I never loved her. The pregnancy was just for show. Beezy wiped her face. If Sam ruined her life, then she would ruin his too. By morning, she marched straight to Sam's house in Abuja. She didn't bother knocking. Mama Sam opened the door and hissed loudly. You again? What do you want this time? Beezy pushed her way inside. I want money. Plenty of it. And I want it today. Sam came out from the bedroom, tired and irritated. Beezy, what is your problem? Haven't you caused enough trouble? Oh really? Beezy played the recording on loudspeaker. Sam froze. Mama Sam grabbed the phone in shock. Sam, you said all this. Sam stammered. It's not what you think. It's exactly what I think. Beezy folded her arms. If you don't want this to go online, better settle me. I want 50 million, a car and a house. Mama Sam almost fainted. Are you mad? Where do you want us to get that kind of money? Do we look like Dangote? Beezy shrugged. Then let's see how the world reacts when they hear Sam's true nature. A loud knock interrupted them. Before anyone could speak, Tenny walked in, calm and confident. What's happening here? She asked softly. Sam quickly moved closer. Tenny, thank God you're here. Beezy is trying to destroy us. Tenny looked at Beezy, then at Sam. Is that so? Beezy swallowed, suddenly unsure. Tenny, you gave me the recording. You know why I'm doing this? Sam's eyes widened. What? You gave her what? Tenny ignored him. Everybody calm down. Let's settle this somewhere private. Without waiting for agreement, she led them outside. They followed, confused and desperate. Tenny drove them far until Abuja city thinned out. The moment Sam recognized the rocky path, his entire body shook. It was the same place they pushed Tenny off the cliff. Before he could speak, Tenny stepped ahead and turned to face them. You all wanted money, cover up and peace, she said. But today you will give me something else. What? Mama Sam whispered. The truth. Keen's car appeared behind them, followed by police vans. Officers stepped out quietly. Tenny raised her phone. Everything you argued inside that house was recorded. You confessed to pushing me. You confessed to the cover-up. It's all here. Sam dropped to his knees. Beezy began to cry. Mama Sam tried to run, but officers grabbed her. Tenny stood firm. You will answer for what you did. The police vans carrying Sam, Beezy, and Mama Sam drove out of the rocky outskirts of Abuja, leaving Tenny standing quietly beside Keen. The night breeze brushed her skin, but for the first time in years, she felt no shiver. She had faced them, exposed them, and survived them. The weight she carried in her heart, far heavier than the body she once lived in, had finally lifted. Keen placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. It's over, Tenny. Truly over. She nodded slowly. I know. I just needed to see it end with my own eyes. They returned to Abuja in Keen's car. As the city lights came into view, Tenny felt like she was stepping into a world she once watched from afar. Now, she wasn't entering as the broken woman pushed off a cliff, but as Tenny Ada, the woman who rebuilt herself. The next morning, news of the arrests spread everywhere, radio, blogs, TV. Reports detailed how Sam and Beezy conspired in attempted murder, framing, and fraud. Social media buzzed with outrage, especially from people who once attacked Tenny online. Now they flooded timelines with apologies and praise. Dome Entertainment called for an urgent press meeting. When Tenny arrived with Madame Ada, cameras flashed nonstop. The hall fell silent when Madame Ada stood. "Years ago, I lost a child," she began. "Today, I stand beside her, my daughter, Tenny Ada." Gasps filled the room. Tenny stepped forward. She didn't speak of pain or revenge. Instead, she announced new programs for young actors, welfare support for abused talents, and stricter policies against exploitation. When the journalists rose for questions, Madame Ada whispered, "I'm proud of you." Later that week, Keen invited Tenny to his small cake shop, Memories of Love. She smiled when she saw the familiar matcha cake on display. "You kept the promise," she said softly. "I keep anything that concerns you," Keen replied. They sat at a small table. For the first time, Tenny wasn't uncomfortable in her own skin. She wasn't trying to impress anyone. She wasn't hiding her scars. She was just home. Keen reached into his pocket and placed a simple ring on the table. "Tenny," he said, voice steady, "you've fought enough battles alone. Let me spend the rest of my life giving you peace. Marry me." Her eyes warmed. Not from surprise, she had seen the love in his eyes long before, but from relief. A different kind of relief than revenge gave. A softer one. A healing one. "Yes, Keen," she whispered. "I'm ready." As he slipped the ring on her finger, Tenny realized she had finally stepped into a future built on love, strength, and choice. Her choice. Her new life had begun. Hit subscribe to keep the fire burning as we grow toward 500 flames of wisdom. If you enjoyed this story, like the video and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. We love hearing from our story family all across the world. Until next time, keep your heart open and your imagination alive. And remember, laughter and lessons always walk hand in hand. See you in the next story.